You read the title. This guy's a menace and this video is the call out post.
Don't be so uptight, May, or should I start calling you Tentacool instead? Or maybe just Tent for short.
Oh, I'm unbeatable.
This is Harley, one of May's rivals throughout the Hoenn and Battle Frontier arc of the Pokémon anime along with Drew. They competed against each other in various Pokémon contests across the Hoenn, Kanto, and Johto regions. While Drew is a freaking Chad, we'll get to that in a bit, Harley is a devious schemer that'll use any cheap, underhanded tactic to eliminate the competition and become top coordinator. Some of these methods are ethically questionable at best. The more you watch him, the stranger he becomes. To not waste any more time, let's see what I mean. Harley first appeared in the Advanced Battle episode,
A Cacturn for the worst!
They actually meet him on a ferry headed towards the island the contest will be on. Right away, we see how pretentious this dude is.
Oh, a Cacturn?
What? She doesn't know about Cacturn.
So a dark type, huh? Even just standing there, Cacturn's so impressive, it's kinda scary.
Scary?
Hey, you know what? These cookies aren't half bad.
Not half bad.
The first part is self-explanatory, the second part is confusing though. It's a dark type, they're known for being scary. If anything, that should be taken as a compliment. And the third is classic petty. They aren't half bad means they suck. And after this, he unsolicitedly takes a picture of May and puts it in some book that I assume is his hit list given the music in this scene.
What's with that girl anyway? The nerve of her. What an attitude. First she knows nothing about Cacturn, then she says my Cacturn's scary, and finally my cookies aren't half bad.
In fact, he was so offended by May's light-as-hell comment that he uses Max to embarrass May in front of an entire crowd of people via secretly recording him telling an embarrassing story from when May was little.
Yeah, my sister May used to be really afraid of Pokemon. This one time, she was completely surrounded by a whole bunch of Tentacool. It was funny, because that day May just happened to be wearing this swimsuit with a matching blue swim cap. And then... She thought my sister was a Tentacool and actually tried to catch her!
It's one thing that he did this in front of a whole crowd of people, it's another thing that he secretly recorded a child. But the thing that's extra callous is him doing this in a contest battle with an attempt to throw her off. He somehow doesn't get disqualified for this despite doing it right in front of the judges. They just shrug it off and continue as normal.
And that unexpected turn of events has this battle off and running again.
Oh, and the entire crowd laughs at May for this story of her being surrounded by essentially the Pokemon equivalent of jellyfish when she was a toddler. That's a pretty traumatic thing to laugh at. Are these guys tourists from North Petalburg or something? The punchline of her mom trying to catch her doesn't really make it funny either. May does get her revenge by beating him though, and Harley holds an even bigger grudge.
Her win was nothing but luck. But we'll meet again, and that's when her luck runs out.
This episode showcases only nuggets of what he's like. Don't worry, he gets far worse. Let's delve in deeper.
Hi-ho, Silver Win! Deceit and assist! Rhapsody in Drew!
Harley's next appearance isn't until the Hoenn Grand Festival, and this is unrelated, but I have to bring this up. Team Rocket brings back the Norman disguise.
Meet world-famous gym leader Norman in the flesh. Yes, prepare for trouble, little boy.
And make it double, I'm the real McCoy.
You don't look like your pictures, mister.
I can't look exactly like myself or those photographers will swarm around me like Beedrill.
See my double dilemma review for me tearing into the last time they did this. But at least they don't have Pokemon trying to pass off as Norman's kids this time. Back to Harley. After he got exposed for publicly humiliating a fellow coordinator, you'd think his reputation would be tarnished or he'd be banned from contests, but nope, it's just swept under the rug. Max does call it.
I told you about him before. That's the Harley guy we caught cheating just because he was so determined to beat May.
But I wouldn't qualify it as cheating. Underhanded and malicious, yes, but not something that directly breaks a rule. Here he shows off his weirdo behavior. He sees Drew giving May a rose and just wants to butt in and say they're a couple.
Oh, we're not really friends, Harley. Most of the time, Drew just likes to make fun of me.
There's something romantic going on here.
Like, it's one thing if it's a friend or a relative doing this, but this is a guy who Mei had previous beef with being invested in the interpersonal relationships of these people who look way younger than him. Harley's plan this time is a bit less nefarious, and honestly, this is one case I'm gonna actually blame entirely on Mei for being stupid enough to fall for. He tells her to just spam one attack for her contest move. This is a trap 6-year-olds first playing Pokemon fall into, but nope, this girl who previously got duped by him is falling for the most obvious trick ever. And keep in mind, Harley is her competition, so they should hold suspicion longer than what justifies his fake nice act at the beginning. So he hypes up Skitty's assist attack, a move that basically has a Pokemon use a random move in your party for those who don't know, and only assists for her contest act. Basically hoping Mei gets bad RNG. This works for a while, until Mei realizes it's stupid and recovers from it, but gets a lower score. Now part of me wonders if every other coordinator just has some bystander effect going on, or Harley just pays off the contest committee, cause he'll just reveal his true malicious intentions in front of a huge crowd of people like in this scene here.
I did it to get revenge against you. For the time you beat me in the Purika competition!
As you'll learn later on, the scene seems to have no effect on his reputation as a coordinator despite being blatantly nasty. Almost like he's a reality show contestant and everyone just loves the drama he causes or something. Harley's a drama YouTuber confirmed. Or it could be for his extremely fitting contest style. He acts creepy, so fittingly, both his battle style and the type of Pokemon he uses are creepy looking. Cacturne, Bayonet, and Ariados seem to be his main aces, and heck, he later makes Wigglytuff pull it off. Maybe the actual reason for his popularity is that Harley just appeals to the Hot Topic crowd, IDK. I do really like this from a thematic standpoint though. The creeper guy has creepy Pokemon. Seriously, this dude is just a general creepy guy. Just look at how much he butts into Mei's personal space.
That was cool!
You know, you might be right, Harley!
Drew is also clearly bothered by this since he is constantly sus of him.
You go on and make the first move.
Don't apologize to him.
Why?
That whole line about using only one attack, it was all just his plot to make sure you wouldn't win.
Like, I haven't seen the Advanced Generation contest episodes in years, so looking back at these episodes made me realize how much of a Chad Drew really was. Think Gary Oak, but a bit calmer with his smugness. Watch him just snarkily roast Harley here.
I'm sure that you're happy I lost, aren't you?
Not true. Mei was just better today.
Back to our local creep, Harley, after snapping, proceeds to get wrecked by Mei in a double battle. He isn't too relevant after this scene, he kinda just leaves, so on to the battle frontier.
The Saffron Con! A hurdle for Squirtle!
Harley's next major appearance comes in the Saffron Con, where once again he tries to pull the I've turned over a new leaf card.
Hold on just a minute here. Harley?
I just volunteered to help her out here during the contest.
Well, you have good taste in friends because Harley sure has been a big help around here.
Now, his plan here is super subtle, clever, and downright evil. Basically, he volunteers to help out Nurse Joy at the Pokemon Center. This is a truth, and it's backed up when the rest of the gang start questioning Harley about this, and Nurse Joy comes in to confirm that indeed, he is. This makes him seem legitimately trustworthy, but in the process, he casually drops in some lies that sound correct, but actually make Mei ineligible to compete.
That pass will get you into this contest too, and registration's open till 11 tomorrow. There's no big rush, Mei.
For context, this is the first contest Mei entered for the Kanto Grand Festival, meaning she's competing in another circuit she may not be as familiar with and may have different rules. Now, Harley was actually playing 5D chess here. He brings up some differences Kanto and Hoenn contests have that are truth. For example,
You can substitute Pokémon between the first and second rounds here. Kinda cool, huh?
this causes them to be suspicious, but this is also officially confirmed. And then he drops the contest pass and registration stuff. It's actually more subtle than what I'm used to in the anime in terms of manipulating the situation. There's also the fact that he used officials to make himself seem more believable and to more cleanly act out this plan. I'm telling you, make this guy the boss of an evil team next game. Speaking of our evil team, we get to see more of Harley's interactions with the other characters, specifically Jessie, because thank God I've already had enough of
Very best friends from back in Hoenn.
This rivalry, though, is fun. It works so well because they're both so equally vain, so you're just watching two petty snobs be brats to each other.
He's the one standing there like a statue.
At least I'm not calling myself some phony empress.
At least I don't have a mushroom for a hat.
This also shows Harley's other big brain move.
Mirror Coat and Counter won't work against defensive attacks. Ariados, let's have some fun with Wobbuffet. You put your right foot out, you put your left foot out, and you bounce it all around.
Jessie, to I guess be cheap, tries using her Wobbuffet to stall, cause it can just send any move right back at it. Kinda cheap in a contest, but trust me, she gets better as a coordinator later on. And Harley manages to fight through it. It's really interesting. He's both creepy and doing some hater moves on May, but he's got the skill to back it up. Don't worry though, this won't be the last time we'll see these two butt heads. Oh, and blah blah blah, May wrecks them with a new starter meant for new trainers that she got several episodes prior.
Harley rides again!
Now on to his next appearance in the episode Harley Rides Again, and
I've never seen Munchlax so pumped up before.
Yeah, looks like Munchlax wants that ribbon as much as May does.
Remember, you don't want a repeat of what happened the last time you tried for your third ribbon.
With Munchlax on my team, no way that's gonna happen.
well, that's not distracting at all. Yeah, this was around the time 4Kids lost the rights to dubbing the anime, so the entire cast got replaced. It is jarring for this specific video, but there will be a time and place to discuss that entire fiasco. Just know that I don't particularly care for the direction of Harley's new voice here.
May, my little gingerbread cookie, how are you, hon?
But that's not relevant for this. Let's just move on to the actual episode where Harley's presence causes a whole crowd to run in fear.
Out of my way. I'm good friends with that big boy, right?
Seriously, this was way more funny than probably intended. Harley also shows some more weird habits this episode, like calling May,
You're that Team Rocket May and her boy toys always beat the pants off of.
That's, an interesting thing to call a 10-year-old girl, dude. As mentioned before, you've clearly got some years on her. I don't know what's weirder, the fact that you said this about her to Team Rocket, or the fact that you said it at all. I'm gonna go with the latter. What's interesting is that Team Rocket offers to, well, team up with him and he declines. Not because they're weak, but because he just finds them that pathetic. But enough about Team Rocket, let's get to the main focus here, showing more of Harley's skills and giving him a W. There's not much in terms of analysis here, just him having pure power as shown in previous episodes. It's just a bit hard to adjust to the voices here. Fun fact, actually, Harley was voiced by Andrew Rannells in the 4Kids dub. He's most notable here for, playing James in Pokémon Live. We'll get to you soon. But what's more interesting is that he's actually had quite the prolific history on Broadway. Fitting he voices someone who's quite the theater kid.
New plot, odd lot. Going for Cho!
Alright, the next episode has some big reveals. So the main deal here is that Harley, after finding Team Rocket pathetic last time, decides to team up with them by loaning Jessie his Pokemon to make sure May doesn't make it to the Grand Festival, since this is the last contest before it, and May is one ribbon short of making it. And in the process, well...
what could account for you harboring all that twerpish malice?
If you know anything about the Hoenn contest arcs, you know this is coming. Time to talk about Harley's weird-ass backstory.
Bitter memories, that's what.
Goody! Artillery-shaped snackies for lunch again!
Lunchtime was supposed to be my happy time. As always, I had saved one final scrumptious snacky for last.
Gosh, they're not hungry anymore. Oh, the snack is all gone. Aren't I good?
The sneaky little stink stole my snacky. And that girl looked exactly like May.
So the TLDR is that Harley hates May because when he was a kid, some girl who looks like her stole the last snack at lunch. I reiterate, not May himself, but a girl who looks like her. This has got to be the biggest hater in Pokemon. Imagine holding a grudge for that long that any girl who resembles someone who slightly inconvenienced you when you were young sets you off on a revenge spree. It's also kind of up to debate on if he's making this up or not, considering it contradicts his debut where it's clear that he hates May because of...
Hey, you know what? These cookies aren't half bad.
Not half bad.
But even if he made it up, it still makes him kind of a hater, given how corny that is. Feels like a backstory you'd hear on a Dr. Doofenshmirtz.
On the day of my actual birth, both of my parents failed to show up.
So on top of using members of an organized crime syndicate to beat someone who looks like a girl who screwed him over years ago, he also uses said members to mess with her friends. This includes trapping them in a hot air balloon that's flying away, and then trapping them in a pitfall. Yeah, he's not the one doing these deeds, but he's still enabling them. And for more proof of this, we got this line.
You know,
Harley sure knows his stuff.
Heck, he's so good at this, they're actually suggesting he join Team Rocket.
Perhaps we should approach that green genius about joining Team Rocket's ranks.
And then Max accuses him of being part of Team Rocket.
And I guess Harley's a full-fledged member of Team Rocket now, huh?
I may be devious, but I'm not dumb.
It's kind of crazy. This dude could probably take over Team Rocket after Giovanni retires if he wanted to. Forget top coordinator, this dude is top Team Rocket. He's driving Team Galactic, Aqua, Magma, Plasma, Flare, Skull, Yell, and, well, they're just kind of vibing, off the map! Oh yeah, and maybe Jessie and Harley declines joining Team Rocket. Moving on.
May, we hardly drewed ya! Thinning the horde! Channeling the battle zone!
Okay, so what Harley does for the Kanto Grand Festival isn't as evil as the last one, but it's 1,000 times weirder. So it starts off with him pulling off his best tuxedo mask impression and giving May a flower. He doesn't even hide the hat. May and the audience should know who this is, but this is all for a huge build-up for his performance, and that performance is...
Peekaboo!
That. Dude legit probably went to any clothing store to find May's exact outfit to match, and it's kinda creepy. Actually, it is creepy, especially with how much he plays into it. He also says this,
"It's your favorite naughty coordinator, me,"
which speaks for itself. And also, Max throws in this suggestion.
If I didn't know better, I'd say Harley's got a huge crush on my sister.
Please don't put that in my head. I know how fucked up Pokemon shippers can be. On to their battle, and it has an interesting form of subversion. Harley's last notable creepy Pokemon is...
Wigglytuff!
That. Don't let its pink fool you, it's just as scary as the others. It's the main thing of note here, and May beats him again. The Grand Festival isn't as focused on him, but on May and Drew's rivalry, hence why this section isn't as long, though he does say this during May and Drew's battle.
"I'll wring her tiny neck with that bandana!"
Bro sent a death threat to a 10-year-old girl. There's no Officer Jenny's here. Only Nurse Joy's and a guy who says,
"Remarkable!"
Only other things of note are Harley eventually running off to Johto along with May and Drew, and the only mentions of him after Hoenn are during the Wallace Cup in Sinnoh and one voiceless cameo during the Masters 8 and Journeys. But those are some Harley highlights. Final verdict, creepy and a hater. Honestly, him being this much of a menace can be entertaining to some but aggravating to others. I mostly found his stuff too over the top to get mad upon rewatching these. He didn't even have to resort to such dirty tricks. He's not incompetent as a coordinator. He's not Jessie yet. You know, her coordinator path might be an interesting future analysis. See you next time. I'm sleeping with one eye open.